I don't want to make this sound too strong, but it saves lives. Like it saved my life, not just while in combat, but now losing friends by their own hands because they just couldn't take it anymore. What this injection could have done for them. I think about that weighs on me a lot. My name is Sean Messett. I'm a full-time grad student at the University of Notre Dame through their Mendoza School of Business. I got an undergrad degree originally, and right after joined the Army, was enlisted, went to Iraq, went to Afghanistan. I was an 11 Bravo infantryman, did my contract, got out, opened up my own gym at a CrossFit gym, and got involved working, volunteering, helping veterans in that community, and wanted to do it on a more full-time basis. So I went back to school. Have been on that path ever since, getting my master's in nonprofit organization with the end goal being to serve veterans, which I do on a volunteer basis now with an organization called For Love of a Veteran, which essentially raises the proceeds and handles the logistics to get as many veterans as we can in central Pennsylvania to receive the SGB injection. I suffered a traumatic brain injury in Afghanistan, a documented one. My deployments were tough deployments, especially my deployment to Afghanistan. I lost, a lot of close friends. It was extremely difficult mentally and physically. There was an instant change, and I didn't recognize it. It wasn't until I left the military and left that brotherhood and community that it all started to come out, because I really didn't have a lot to lean on as far as a social support. I lost the ability to get a good night's sleep first and foremost. I just suffered from night terrors constantly. My ability to process and handle and navigate emotions and obstacles just withered away to where my behavior was erratic, to say the least. The decisions I was making was very impulsive, and they weren't the best decisions for me or my family. My family saw it right away. I have great parents, wonderful sister, and family that cares and loves and supports me in every capacity they can. It's a heavy burden that you carry with you, that you do your best to. They are constantly worried about you, and they see the changes that are happening. For me, I lost a sense of connection to them. I was happy, but it was almost like something was always in the way. I thought I was hiding it, but everybody around me saw it, and people walked on eggshells around me. It was just a huge weight that led to depression and suicidal ideations. I was still in a phase of leaving the military where I was trying to just handle things on my own. It wasn't a healthy way. What I was essentially doing was trying to occupy my free time with as many activities as I could to just try to ignore the core issues of the problem. And I drank. I would drink to put myself to sleep. I wasn't sleeping at all. Anybody will tell you eventually you're gonna break. And I broke. I was just existing. I wasn't living. You can do it for so long, and some people can do it for a lifetime. It's not a life to live though. I started to reach out for help, but I never fully committed to it. I heard a podcast. It was the discussion of the SGB. Dakota Meyer, the Medal of Honor recipient. Everything he was saying, I was like, that's my life right now. What his life was like. I just spent so many years trying everything else. My only thought was, I've tried everything. This has to work, right? It has to work. And I only had a positive mindset that this was going to work. And what's it going to harm? I brought it to Christine at For Love of a Veteran, and I was like, I want this, but I can't afford it. And I would bring it up to my providers. They were like, we've never heard of this. This is a few years ago. Now it's obviously gotten a little bit more traction. With Christine's help and For Love of a Veteran, we were able to raise the funds to get the SGB injection. It's instantaneous. It's insane. Literally, every grunt knows a story. It's like you carry around a 100-pound rucksack, and that initial feeling of taking it off and setting it down, just like the euphoria of that, you get that right away, lightness. And it was crazy because I was in New York City. I was with my sister and Christine. They were driving me around, and I just remember seeing the city like I had never seen it before. Instead of noticing threats like I would normally do, it's like, wow, the building's amazing. I can't believe how many people were here. It's just it was almost, I was back in awe. The best part of the procedure is what I was able to do in my actual talk therapy. SGB is great. It really gave me the opportunity to get into that trauma, understand it, process it, and handle it better. Because it doesn't go away. It's still there. I still cry on Memorial Day. I still cry on my friends' anniversary days. But it doesn't weigh me down. It's not a giant obstacle in my life anymore. It gives you the ability to use the tools that you can learn to handle things in a much more productive way. I know my veteran community, there's a point where you got to drop the ego. And it's that old cliche, ask for help. Help is out there. That's where you become most valuable. You sit down, you get that personal one-on-one, you get a fellow veteran that can help you through it. You don't feel in this huge system. You have this smaller entity that can really help you through. I speak for myself, those guys closest to me, the guys I've worked with. It's a distrust in a system, overlooked, underappreciated, forgotten. You don't trust the system, you don't trust the people in the system, and you don't think they have your best intentions in mind. Working in a nonprofit agency, especially for the love of a veteran, I've done programs through the Wounded Warrior Project too. The people that work for these smaller NPOs genuinely love what they do, and they genuinely care about the veteran. And it's not just a one-time situation. They care about your progress a year, 2 years, 3 years down the road, and they care about your family. There's no hidden agendas. You're not a number. You are an individual with a name and a purpose, and you have meaning, and we will find a way to get you the help that you need. Every veteran that we work with, their stories are different, their traumas are different, how they handle things is different, and what we can provide is a unique approach. And it works not just for veterans, but for anybody. But for us, like that continued expansion of the veterans that we can serve. First responders as well. Any type of first responder, you're on a daily basis now. When do you have time or the ability to really try to heal? I want to be the best version of myself for my family and my friends. And what I was trying was not working. And with the SGB, it's one of those situations where you don't have anything to lose. What happens is post the procedure is that you have a new perspective and you feel hope, and that's one of the things I lost is hope for what you can face it right now. And there is help, and there's great programs, and the SGB, obviously. We have, 22 veterans a day take their own lives. How many of those could have been really benefited from the SGB? And that's what the Stella does. And by getting as many first responders, as many veterans, this SGB, we could be saving a lot more lives. If any veteran is interested, like this is it. If you tried everything else, it's not going to hurt you. It's not going to hurt you to try something else.